Very mature performance from a young Chelsea side against Arsenal, and in today's video I'm going to be analysing Maresca's tactics, looking at how Chelsea played and why Chelsea fans should definitely be confident for the future. But before I begin, if you are new here, please hit the subscribe button and hitting the like button too is greatly appreciated. So yeah, let's just get into it, and I want to start with the initial sort of press from Chelsea. This is 19 minutes in and you can already see, Timber there on the ball for Arsenal, that Chelsea are brave. Caicedo, Madueke, Jackson, they're all involved. This idea to pen Arsenal in. Even Cole Palmer, who goes into the centre forward zone, he's ready there to go and press onto Gabriel when the ball gets there. So it's just this constant sort of idea that we should pen the opposition in. And for a young Chelsea side, the average age of that squad, the starting 11 anyway, was 23 years old. But to have this telepathy between them, to know when to press, to know how, to sort of make it uncomfortable for the opposition, was really good to see. You also see Levi Colwill here. I know it's not the greatest image, but look at him. He looks commanding. He's ready. He's pouncing. Lavia as well. He knows his zone. So Kai Havertz is essentially, penned in as well by that triangle. So it's just multiple triangles all over the pitch in an attempt to suffocate Arsenal, and at times it was really effective for Chelsea. And here an example of it being so effective. Just look at Marc Cucurella coming all the way from this side of the pitch to go and press Kai Havertz. Essentially they did win the ball. Lavia, the one here, was able to drive forward, and Chelsea are in a fantastic zone. But just look at those three in the middle. You've got Lavia there, you've got Cucurella there, I think that's Caicedo as well. You can almost make, barely make a triangle between them because they're so close together, suffocating the opposition. This is how Maresca likes to play. He wants to press, but when you press, you go with all the full intensity. And I want to earmark the role of Pedro Neto, who I thought was fantastic out of possession. He really did work hard. It's knowing that Cucurella has come into this zone. He says, okay, I could go in attack, I could be in a nice position, but I need to be wary of Ben White behind me, because if Arsenal manage to get out of this and I leave my position, they can go on the counter-attack. For someone so young to have that sort of mentality, it's fantastic to see. He was fired up in the game. He was ready. He wanted to make an impact, and his goal that he scored was just really good, to be honest. But again, look at that front three. Right across there, they're all there, they're all ready. Jackson's there, Madueke, Palmer. Look how they've alterated positions. This is what you want to be seeing. Madueke there, you want Jackson sometimes to come through the middle. You can have multiple sort of alterations happening to confuse the opposition, and Chelsea did that really nicely at times. And I do think they were quite wasteful in the final third at times. They definitely should have been more clinical, but this is a young squad. They'll continue learning. It's just about having that clinical edge in the final third once you've pressed and sort of harried the opposition. One thing which was quite disappointing was the fact that the underlaps of Malo Gusto weren't used enough. In this case, Madueke plays it into there and Gusto's able to sort of put a ball into this zone. But Gusto would do that a lot of times. It was causing Arsenal problems. Nobody would really track his movement. Gabriel was stuck. Should I cover this space? Should I go and press the ball? Timber was too, sort of obsessed with defending 1v1 versus Madueke. So there was opportunities for Chelsea to find this ball, and it just didn't happen enough. Cole Palmer, we know how effective he is. The ball actually does come to him, and I think this is the point where he isn't able to, sort of get his feet in the right ways. But he's here, and he's in a great position to have a strike at goal. So Chelsea, when they attack, when they're on the transition, look at the numbers they have there. Almost 1v1 there. Jackson against Thomas Partey. Almost Saliba, you can kind of say, against Palmer. Neto against Ben White. So everybody in there has their own player in which they are going to go and attack that space. And it's really good stuff. It's brave, to be honest, to be doing this at Stamford Bridge against Arsenal, who are a really good side, to have this impetus to go and attack and score goals. Really brave from, Enzo Maresca. And what I want to talk about actually whilst I'm on here is because is Madueke. I think Chelsea fans, he was absolutely unreal, and this is because he would track during Timber going backwards. He'd be selfless. He'd track the underlaps Timber did. He'd track Timber when he comes inside, and it would be really effective to stop Arsenal playing. There were times where he would even track Rice. So this selfless role of Madueke really helped Chelsea to contain the threat of Arsenal. Here again, we have another example of Chelsea being brave in that press. A 4 sort of block here. And what this wants to do, is sort of to stop the ball going into the feet of Thomas Partey. Timber here, he's trying to, hold the ball to draw Chelsea out, but they're patient, and often in these games when you're young, the crowd are on you. Chelsea's crowd are very agsy. I don't know what the word is, in terms of they want the team to go bang, bang, bang. But sometimes you need to be conservative. And Chelsea weren't drawn into the crowd. They were like, okay, we're just going to conserve our position here. We'll be ready when Arsenal make the move first. We're not going to let, Arsenal decide after we make the move. We're going to be brave. We're going to just sit here. And ultimately, they were prepared and happy to play that game. Then you also had, Lavia and Caicedo in these sort of zones who were really effective. Look at Martin Odegaard here, not in a position where he can receive the ball because Caicedo's there. Neto was almost playing this double role of protecting the forward space and the space behind him. Lavia the same with Martinelli and Rice. It was really, really brave, almost man-to-man behind that initial first press. And Arsenal at times weren't able to deal with that. They were really stagnant, really stale with the way they were on the ball, but Chelsea were ready to do that press. The first half was quite impressive in terms of the shape of Chelsea in those final thirds, in the defensive third. They were really prepared to be brave and also conservative at the same time. Back again with this piece of trickery from Neto in the attacking third. And I want to focus more on the fact that Chelsea attempted to isolate him 1v1 versus Ben White. And this is all thanks to the role of Cucurella, who was absolutely unreal in this game. Again, I just want to earmark this triangle in there. Just so lovely that to see this close-knitness of the Chelsea players. Jackson's ready to receive that into feet as well. Cucurella's there, so Saka has a decision to make. Do I mark here? Do I follow Neto and help to double up? Or do I go and protect Saliba for that ball into feet? So having Saka this isolated, it allows Neto, it buys him time. He's able to do the trickery he wants. And the ball into the box is absolutely fantastic. Gusto should score. But this is all due to Maresca. You can tell he said, okay, let's isolate players. Let's have Saka, who likes to come back and defend. Arteta's always telling Arsenal, double up. Your wingers have to get back and defend. Let's put him in an uncomfortable position. Let's say, Jackson, you go tight to Saliba. Cucurella, you hang around the edge of the box. Leave Saka in a situation where he either has to stick or twist. Let's leave Ben White because, you know what? I believe in Pedro Neto's 1v1 ability. I believe if we give him the isolation, he's going to provide some magic, and he certainly did. I think it's only right that we sort of ended on talking about Chelsea's back sort of shape when Arsenal were in their third. Here's the throw-in. There's the ball. Timber's just taking it here. But just look at how connected that Chelsea backline is. It almost forces Arsenal to go back and say, okay, let's play to our feet. Let's not try and spin in behind because there's no point. Everywhere is covered. Triangles all over the zones in order to stop Arsenal playing. It really, really is good to see this from Maresca's side. Sometimes, like I've said, you can be a young side. You can sort of be naive and think, okay, let's go and press, let's do this. But no, they were prepared to sit in their shape. They believed in their principle. They believed in Maresca. And this is just fantastic to see for Chelsea because, let's be real, defensively, Chelsea have been a bit suspect at times this season. We know the role of Robert Sanchez, who Chelsea fans despise. And, okay, he makes some, really poor errors, but he's important back there. He's a commander. You can tell he talks to his back line. But the way that back line did was so good. Colwill was brave 1v1 against Havertz. Really, really brave. Even allowing Havertz to go 1v1, it just shows how much trust Maresca has with Colwill to deal with that threat. Cucurella, like I've said earlier in this video, is prepared to give Saka sort of space because he knows I'm ready to pounce. I'm ready to go 1v1 with Saka because I believe in the way I play. And then it was just all about protecting those pockets. And this trio in here, Palmer, sorry, this line is a bit wiggly to be honest. This sort of trio in there, Lavia, Jackson as well was coming back at times in there. Sometimes it would be Caicedo. They were really, really good at marking the space, not allowing balls to go in there, not allowing Arsenal to play between the lines. They really forced the issue and were prepared to have Arsenal play it to their wide players, Martinelli and Saka, who weren't the best 1v1 at all. That's why Chelsea's game plan was so good. They said, okay, we're happy to isolate Arsenal's wingers. We're happy for the ball to go out wide, but you're not going to play through the centre. You're not going to have the space, sort of Odegaard receiving in there. Because the one time that happened, Arsenal scored. So it just shows the principles, the idea to have Arsenal to play the ball out wide and then them to defend from there was very, very good. But overall, Maresca had a really good plan. Chelsea can be happy with the point. Maybe could have even won it, but the quality of chances they had wasn't that much outside of Gusto, outside of, I think, Palmer may have had one, or Jackson. I don't know who it was. There was another good chance for them. But I think this was a great step for Chelsea and they've got a positive future ahead.